welcome to episode 512 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And I'm Glenn.
How are we doing, fellas?
Great.
Amazing.
So, Glennie, somebody once told me that it's an anniversary. So, happy anniversary, Glennie.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Would much rather be spending time with my wife than you two fuckheads, but here we are.
Yeah, so you just come straight out like on the front foot abusing us. I was going to say that it's that time of year again where we undertake a period of solemn reflection about the lives that have been brutally snatched out of their prime and ruined by you marrying them. But no, I didn't say that. I tied it back to the Counting Crows for you.
How good.
How lucky are you that there is almost zero funding in this country for sufferers of Stockholm Syndrome?
The scarier part is that you've actually researched that. Congratulations, you fucking psychopath.
Your poor wife is the only known case of quick onset Stockholm Syndrome. Normally it takes multiple hours, sometimes days. Yours took fucking 37 minutes in a Ford Cortina.
Holden Commodore, mate. Central locking. She never stood a chance.
And they call it Airds syndrome.
Stockholm's would be fancy for us Westies, mate.
They're fucking putting together furniture and shit.
most people from Airds couldn't even afford a book showing photos of Stockholm.
Fuck that flat pack. I got cinder blocks.
I got the milk thing I fucking pinched out of the back of the corner store.
Milk crates and
I got a flat pack. I live in a cardboard box.
Fuck yes.
That's what I love, Dairy Queen vibes. Congratulations on a serious note, Glennie.
Thank you. 20 motherfucking years.
Yeah. And I mean the old phrase, cliche that is like, oh, you get less time for murder, but now you are actually getting into the time where you do get less time for murder.
Yeah,
I mean, it's actually true.
Yes.
And how you haven't been murdered is it's a mystery that
because I'm a fucking delight, mate.
I'm a
delight.
I'm grateful for the fact that you haven't been. Jay probably say otherwise, but I appreciate the fact that you haven't been murdered.
No. Fuck no.
Look, I'm as shocked as anyone, if I'm honest.
Now, news this week. I don't have a lot to go on. There's a bit of signing talk bubbling up, and one that has dropped not long before we started recording. Actually, it was only about not even an hour ago. Is that there are reports that the Rabbitohs are looking to recruit Jack Whiten. For weeks we've been, so Canberra are going to offer him a fortune, and that's the end of that because it's hard to turn down like 1.1 million or whatever it was going to be over a couple of years. But he is expected to travel to Sydney on Friday to finalise what is tipped to be a 4-year deal through the end of 2026 season, and it's around 3.4 million over 4 seasons, which is about $1 million less than the deal that the Raiders have tabled him. Excuse me.
Is that like less per season, or was their total deal still over 4 years?
I believe so. I think they were like 1.1 or something per year over 4 years.
Wow.
Where this is 3.4 for 4 years. So, look, on one hand, that does tie more into the narrative that he wants to go somewhere where he's got a chance of winning a comp and he's taking less than is on the table elsewhere to do so.
But to play where?
Yeah,
in the vacated 6 jersey when Cody Walker goes to the Dolphins.
Imagine. I don't hate that. He does like. He's not really going to be Wayne, though, is he? Because Wolf's taken over. But yeah. Look,
Wayne's got 3 years this year and 2 more.
I didn't think he had that many years.
Yeah,
I thought he had a short time.
I think
like
it's
one or two, and then handing over to Wolf.
I think we went through this before.
Yeah, you're thinking of the West Tigers deal, where they've got a far worse coach.
There is no deal involving the West Tigers in the names Wayne Bennett or Cody Walker.
Yeah, where they've got a far less successful coach, swapping with a completely unproven coach who hasn't won
exactly
dick in England.
And the only 5'8", the fucking busted 5'8" we're looking at signing are Josh Schuster and fucking Amon.
Yeah, so what's happened? So what happens here is that this deal or the contact's been broken by Latrell. He's told Demetrio that Whiten was interested in joining the Rabbitohs last month. The negotiations have evolved from there.
Yep.
And the plan. Well, here we go.
Is that what they were fighting over?
We're premature. We're premature talking about Cody going to the Dolphins because the plan is for him to play left centre. Where some of the smartest minds in the game have thought that perhaps that's where the money should be spent.
Yeah.
And look, that's he has a very provisional kicking license there. Probably not going to do a lot of it, so it takes away the worst aspect of his game. And look, honestly, if he's, I mean, that's great fucking money for him to just settle down as a centre and just focus on his running game. And I mean, if he slots in there, like I mean, he's sent an AJ. Centre, he's sent an AJ. Yeah, well, I mean, he's more so than anything else in my opinion. And he's just sent an AJ over, and then you got fucking Campbell Graham killing it on the other side.
Yep,
it's very fucking dangerous.
That's a both sides of the field fucking crisis team. And
with him at centre, it absolutely makes the Rabbits a more dangerous side.
Yeah.
When I first heard, before I looked into the article, what I just saw, like, basically the head point, the headlines where it was like, okay, Whiten going to the Rabbits, and in my head I assumed the halves, and in my head I thought, well, fucking, I don't think any team with Whiten in the halves is going to win comp.
Yeah, that's it.
But now you see,
I feel like the only person that does think that is Jack Whiten.
Yeah, and then they put him in the centres though. I mean, they're paying too much to have him in the centres, but if they can afford it under the cap. Well, I'd love to see the sums, but if they can afford it to stick him in the centres on that kind of money, then fuck. I mean, it's an absolute improvement piece in their side.
In saying that, you would imagine that Ilias is not on typical 7 money.
No, he'd be far from upgraded or anything yet. Yeah,
being so young, and so that gives them the option to go, okay, we're going to open up a 3-year window here.
Yep.
By using what we could have used for a more potent 7, what we've saved on having Ilias there. Let's get some superstar rep power out wide, and that's not a dumb move. That is not a fucking dumb move at all.
And then Ilias can be upgraded, part way through that deal. Anyway, as other play, when they shuffle the deck chairs, makes sense.
Exactly, that's it.
Yeah. Exactly, because ultimately, they're going to be moving. The Damien Cook era is going to end.
Yep.
And then they're going to have Peter Mamazellus on nothing.
Yep.
Playing 9.
That's
so
it.
Look, there are places where they'll be able to nip and tuck over the years if they're prepared to just dump that much money into a centre.
Other than Murray and Cook, though, there's not massive dollars in that forward pack, is there?
I don't.
Kalamatangi wouldn't be on massive coin just yet.
No, but he will
for
be.
A bump.
I mean, he's getting a bump for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but what they've saved on forwards, they've spent on backs so far. Like Latrell's on plenty, AJ's on plenty, Cody Walker would be on plenty.
Yeah.
They've thrown the cash. They've splashed the cash.
You'd have to assume that Campbell's going to be. He'd be demanding. He'd be getting paid enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if he hasn't, then he'd be in line with an upgrade too over the next
correct.
little while. I'm not sure how long he's contracted for, but
yeah.
And in other contract news, the Dolphins have extended Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, 5-year extension. He will remain at the Dolphins until the end of 2027. Originally, it was a 2-year deal that he signed for them for this year, next year, but they're giving him a 3-year extension on the end of that, just because clearly he's proven that he is a guy you can sort of build a side around.
Fuck
and
yes.
Something that the Cowboys, while they did dodge a big bullet with Callum Ponga in terms of his injuries and whatnot, this is the second potential fullback that they've let slip through.
Certainly a preferable option.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's face it. Drinkwater did. He killed it for him.
Yes, he did.
And this year not so much, but
yeah, it's still early stages, and
yeah,
I think he's had a bit of time out with the suspension, and
the Cowboys' woes are not, oh my god, their fullback's dreadful.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god, the fullback was suspended.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while there, that's what they were. It was, oh my god, the fullback's been suspended for a fucking decent chunk of weeks.
Yeah.
And then he came back and nothing changed. So it's probably more, oh my god, Tom Gilbert was him, not fucking Neem and Reuben Cotter.
If Cody goes, is that the end of Ricky Stewart? Is the guy who, from everything you've ever heard,
if he goes,
because everything you've ever heard is, Whiten's Ricky's boy, and Ricky's got him to the rep arena, and he's so proud of him, and they, looks at him like a son, and all of this stuff. If Whiten then turns around and says, well, I want to win a premiership, so I'm playing in a less demanding position, taking far less money, because this coach can't get it done, and this group of players can't get it done.
Yeah, I think he could probably spin it in a way that it's the group of players that can't get it done.
Yeah, not
necessarily the coaching, but the coach and himself, got him there, and they and now that window's closed, and he's just team hopping to his next super team, looking for a chance.
There you go.
But look, yeah, I don't think anyone's tipping the Raiders to be able to return to late 2019 anytime soon. Fuck me, that feels a long time away now. When
you look at some of their performances over the course of last year and already this season,
yep,
it feels like an eternity ago. Some of those Raiders fans will feel like Tigers fans.
They feel like I feel like they've definitely got like a decent base performance this year. They've reached that over the last couple of weeks, but yeah, are they even close to competing for even like getting into the finals would be an achievement for that side.
But not just their performances this season, last season, the entire style of how the game's played has changed.
Yeah. Yep.
They're not built for success in this modern game.
No.
3-year modern game. 3-year-old modern game.
Yeah, well, they say with technology, everything's changing so quickly, and the timelines are contracting for change across everything in our lives, and PVL will get sick of these close score lines and fucking competitive games before too long, and throw another grenade in there.
That's it. I was almost going to say that was the last grand final before the 6 again era, but then I remembered just how prevalent the 6 again was in that grand final.
Oh, excellent. Unless there's any other news that you guys want to talk about, I want to jump into the games.
Sure.
Yep.
Right. So, Anzac round, this one. Have you guys done a full survey of all of the team's Anzac jerseys? Yet?
No.
I got to say, I just so people understand something about me.
Is there somewhere that they all are together?
I've just been watching them come up through the socials, piecemeal as they get released. But I just wanted people to understand that the listeners will they'll give their shots and we're biased about this and we hate this team, we don't give that team credit, etc., etc. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're fucking liars, because if you know me, you know that fuck the Broncos isn't just a catchy hashtag. It's a way of life for people like me. However, I saw yesterday what they're doing for the Anzac Day jersey, and it's exactly what I would want out of an Anzac jersey. It's basically their regular jersey with a poppy on the chest, and the player number on the back has a complementary colour sort of camo. It's not that visible, it just looks like the player's number in a dark sort of brown colour or whatever, but it's kind of like got a sort of slight sort of camo running through it with some darker tones. Subtle, not a fucking crazy BCF fishing shirt looking thing with a fucking sublimated silhouette of fucking dudes in front of a chopper or dudes doing the bowed head with the rifle in front of them, Anzac styles, any of that shit. That's what they should be like.
Yep.
And in fact, if the NRL wanted to keep doing, I mean, I would prefer if the NRL sacrificed their fucking logo on the jerseys for one jersey a year for one weekend a year, or did an NRL themed poppy thing, badge for the NRL badge, and that's the Anzac thing, and then I mean, So it's interesting. It was good to see, and I'm giving credit where it's due. If you're looking now and if you see a repository of where all of these Anzac jerseys are, then do pass it on to me so I can actually, because I tell you, it's a very rare day when you see one of those that are not absolute fucking eyesores. Right. So the first game, well, speaking of the Canberra Raiders, I got to buy, so that's probably why Jackie Boy's flying up to Sydney. He's got the weekend off, head up to the Big Smoke, and sign his life away. And the first game, the Rabbits take on the Panthers Thursday night at Acorn Stadium. The Rabbitohs side, Tani Millens is out on the wing. Koloamatangi is out for a reasonable amount of time, I think, with injury. Isaac Thompson comes in on the wing. Cheekham comes into the second row. Sele goes from front row to bench. Jai Arrow bench to front row. And the Panthers side, what do we got here? Liam Martin out. Lindsay Smith in on the bench. And Sorensen goes to the second row from the bench. What happened to Liam Martin this time?
I don't know. He was only back last week.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I haven't seen anything staggering, but let me just have a quick look while you give your thoughts on who you think's going to win.
Panthers by a million, even though they've lost good old Stay Free Martin. Look, remember, this is one of these situations where we've had games. This game has been played, in the last month? It wasn't that long ago when the Panthers played the Rabbitohs. That was at a stage where the Panthers didn't have their shit together again yet, which they've sort of demonstrated they have over the last 3 weeks. Maybe it was even the game, almost the game directly after. Last week was a bit of an aberration, but I mean, the week before, and the 2 weeks before they had good wins. The Rabbits also, I don't think really had their shit together last time they played either. So I'm looking forward to this one as a contest.
I think it'll be a great game.
He's re-aggravated the same hamstring injury that had kept him out.
So. Wow, so they say he was brought back too early then.
Well, I just saw a quote from Ivan there that said he felt it early and kept playing.
So. Fucking warrior.
Yes, who now puts himself out again.
Yeah.
I think this one comes down to exactly which version of the Rabbitohs turn up. Yep. If that calm, cool and collected version of the Rabbitohs, and by Rabbitohs, I mean Cody Walker. If that version shows up this week, looking for some actual fucking payback, then the Rabbitohs will be very, very hard to stop. Based on, the just how clinical they've been, and the fact that they can put on big scores very quickly. In saying that, if again it turns out that he's head fucked by the Panthers before they even step on the field, then there's absolutely no use at all, and Penrith 50 plus. But the other factor in this is Latrell's involvement is growing week on week. He's doing that thing where he's not necessarily as fit as you'd want him to start the season. But it isn't taking long. And he's at the stage now where he can really command much more attention from defences. So he's one to watch as well. But as long as Penrith get back to that very simple, fast play the ball style that they had the previous 2 weeks, and get away from the fucking dreadful style they had last week versus Newcastle, they should be pretty comfy.
Coal miners' black lung.
Maybe.
Yeah. Both of these teams are sort of closer to their finished forms than they were last time they met, so I am interested to see how they all match up. Koloamatangi, big loss for the Rabbits, of course.
That is massive on the edge for them. I think it's a close game Penrith can't lose. I think they'll just control it, and they have that ability.
Cody Walker late intercept.
Yeah, exactly. I think, their ability to perform in the clutch is proven time and time again. And however, I think if South start fast and can get some ascendancy on the ruck speed, which is difficult to do against Penrith. But if they start fast and get a bit of a lead, I think see us have the ability, with good field position and possession, to put points on, and I think that'll make it tough on Penrith. But if it's close, I think Penrith win.
But remember as well, I mean, even the losses that Penrith have, I mean, when it seemed like they were safe, game winning leads, even the Knights, like a bunch of points at the end to steal it. They almost, they came back almost to get the Broncos. They came back almost in the World Club Challenge. Like they do that quite a lot as well. So
Fair.
I'm not sure what sort of a lead is safe. And I don't think the Rabbits are the teams that kind of defend their way to a win either, But yeah, I still think the Panthers are probably about 10-point winners.
You're right. The Rabbits aren't going to stop a comeback with defence. They're going to stop it with one or two quick tries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't actually have I don't think I have the betting prices up there at the moment, so I can't see who they are. I assume that Penrith are reasonably heavy favourites, though, right?
I'm getting there. Sorry.
Right, that's right.
I don't know. I'm not a degenerate.
You should be. $1.57 for Penrith on Sportsbet, $2.41 to the Bunnies.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, points bet's $1.50 versus $2.60. So, probably pretty much in line with what we've been saying. Yep. Friday night game, the only Friday night game this week due to the scattered games over the Anzac round. The Eels take on the Broncos up in Darwin, the traditional Darwin game for the Eels. And their side, McIntyre goes to, he's out, sorry. Josh Hodgson comes in. Brendan Hands goes from hooker to bench. Madison second row to lock. Jermaine Hopgood lock to bench. Bryce Cartwright bench to second row. The Brisbane Broncos side, Jesse Arthurs is out. Keenan Palacia is out. Corey Oates in on the wing for Arthurs. Flegler comes in, and Corey Jensen goes from front row to the bench to make way for Flegler's return. Broncos, warm favourites.
Yeah, I don't mind the Broncos being favourites. I think Parramatta obviously still somewhat finding their way through the season so far, and the Broncos are obviously at various points are still running first, and their attack has at various stages been fucking quick, which I think Para might struggle to contain them if the Broncos get on a roll with quick play the balls. Reynolds off the back of that. Edge runners. Yeah. Ricky, I've been really impressed with Jordan Ricky this season on the edge. Yep. He did some great things last year, but sort of fell away. He was one of the guys that fell away towards the back end of the year, but he started the season really impressively, and Cape was always solid. So yeah, I'm going to tip the Broncos.
Yeah, I'd almost be tempted to tip the Eels if Hodgson was still out. How long do you think it is before that they realise that Hodgson isn't the 9 and Brendan Hands has actually played enough footy now that he's their solution at 9?
I honestly think they're suffering from a good old case of contract blindness.
Yeah,
where
and they fall in love with the guy who they paid money for.
Well, it's for the same reason that. Oh well, we've got this guy and we're paying him overs. He's a centre, but we're paying him to be a 6. So because we're paying him that much, we won't play him in the centres.
Yeah.
So I don't think they will realise it and swap. But yeah, I think Brisbane will get him here.
Yeah, I think the Broncos, if they get that sort of fortunate period, whether it comes from like the referees or good fortune or just a period of sustained good play that gives them a couple of tries back to back, they tend to be able to get such a roll on and get their backs up when they start. They can sort of create a bit of an avalanche.
Yep.
If the Eels prevent that and it's a low scoring game for a long period of time, then maybe that changes things.
Yeah. And here's the thing: the Broncos' outside backs are so fucking big and strong that there's not those easy meters down there. I don't think for Parramatta that they take against other teams.
Yep.
So yeah, no. Broncos.
Okay, moving on to Saturday afternoon. We have the Doggies taking on the Sharks. This one again at Accor Stadium. And the Doggy side, Carraz is out. Topine is out. Declan Casey comes into the wing. Braden Burns comes into the other wing. Ockenbaugh goes to the bench from the wing. Birdo goes to from 5'8" to halfback. Kyle Flanagan goes from halfback to 5'8".
What could possibly go wrong?
And they told me that fucking Trent Barrett wasn't the coach there anymore. The Sharks side, no changes.
Sharks are $1.26 favourites. I'm surprised they're not shorter because they will win this game by 50 fucking points minimum.
Did you see on Twitter, Gus was asked the question about the change?
No, I didn't see. I only noticed it just now when I saw the team list.
So, let me just go to an account that he hasn't blocked me on.
I mean, it's completely ceremonial. I don't understand what the fucking... or why.
What's his Twitter handle again?
I don't fucking know. I don't follow him. I never followed him even when he did block me originally.
It's essentially, someone come out and said to him, "Oh, hey, has there been a mistake made in the team list? Did they swap the jersey numbers by accident?"
Oh, he loves it. He loves it when you imply that he did something wrong or made a mistake.
No, and he came back and he says, "Oh, yeah, no, that's on purpose, and the coach has a plan." But
who's he planning to trick with the plan?
But we don't want to reveal anything. You know, we're fucking serious. Like, okay.
That's fucking
absolute dumb shit.
So I guess we'll find out what this immaculate and incredible plan is that they trot out on Saturday, and if it stems the tide and stops them conceding another 50 points.
I suspect the plan is try not to lose by 50, and I feel like it's going to be an unsuccessful plan. I know they've got their injury concerns, and you know.
Not as many injuries as they'd like you to fucking believe, though.
No, I tend to agree,
but...
Jeez, between, Corey Waddell, Max King, Jacob Preston is probably can't be labelled a plotter just yet.
No, he seems to have some product. He seems to have some promise.
There's some legitimate plotters in that team.
Yeah, there is.
Is this the year of the plotter, Glennie? You're just calling out everyone for being a plotter.
Not everyone, just plotters.
Okay.
Right, we're all agreed there, and I would imagine when it comes to the betting
$1.26. Yeah.
Jesus, they're in the $1.18 on PointsBet as well, and that does make them the heaviest favourites of the round. Fairly quite comfortably.
In a round where the West Tigers don't have a bye.
Yep. So the doggies can celebrate or commemorate the Anzac weekend by eating a big tasty 50 burger. The Cowboys take on the Knights. This one is happening up at the Abattoir in Townsville. The Cowboys side have lost Talmalolo, and what we were talking about on Monday, like 4 to 6 weeks or something. I think he's gone for.
That's it.
Jordan McLean comes in. Jake Granville, probably much to his delight, goes from the front row to the bench, and that's something we didn't mention on Monday, I don't think either. And Ruben Cotter goes bench to lock. The Knights side, Jack Johns is out, Brody Jones is out, Jacob Saifidi comes back to the bench, and the big one, Callum Ponga, I think it's his 100th game, returns in 5/8 jersey.
More concussions in games.
Gamble goes from 5/8 to the bench. Matt Croker goes lock the bench, and Glennie's mate Kurt Mann comes on as the starting lock.
And for that reason, and that reason alone, the Cowboys will be victorious in this game. Well, there's other reasons. I'll be honest, there's other reasons.
They really should. They really should win the game. But honestly, I don't know if they got it in them.
I hate to say it, and I'm not a guy that I'm concerned about Ponga. The way he his last concussion there against, I think it might have even been against the Tigers, was it? Is that the last game he played?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
He definitely
the last
went
one
off early against the Tigers. I don't know if he's played since then, but incidental contact at best.
Yeah.
And they are trying their very best, and I feel like every time he touches the ball, what used to be the fans and the the coaching staff and anyone at Newcastle when he touched the ball, they'd all be excited that he was going to do something. Well, I think that's flipped completely on its head, and now they're like, "Fuck, he's going to be okay when he gets tackled."
Yep. His footwork needs to get way fucking better to avoid contact.
Yeah,
because there are guys. I mean, like,
and say what you want about but that's fucking rough.
It's very fucking rough. I got nothing bad to say about the guy. I mean, he got the contract that he could from the club.
Yep.
And he's is he worth it? In my opinion, fuck no, he's not. But that doesn't. I mean, he signed the deal. They gave him the money.
Yeah, he didn't get that contract by going, "Oh, I played British State of Origin," and they believed him and overpaid him. They knew full well what he was and what he wasn't yet. So,
yeah, but we haven't heard anything like. Have we heard anything that happened over in Canada or whatever with the brain nosy?
No,
because I just wonder. I mean, why? Yeah, Newcastle Knights Digis. Why don't we have a fucking documentary about it? Manly did a 2-part doco on Tommy going over to Knowlesy. Fucking Storm did a 1-part documentary about Pappy going over to Knowlesy. That shit's fucking interesting as fuck to see the behind the scenes and what the sort of stuff that these
maybe there's a reason they don't want you to see it
because
they don't want to see the fucking they don't want to see the scans and it looks like a fucking broccoli. And it's like. It's probably less like the ones that Pappy and Turbo did, and more like the fucking one that poor old Mario did on 60 Minutes or whatever.
Stepped off the plane into a harsh southwesterly and passed out.
Yeah.
They don't want to see that. No one wants to see it.
Yeah. No. Look, I hope he gets. I think as a fan of young people not being fucking smashed into fucking CTE in their prime, I would like to see him get through 80 minutes, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Without any of these situations where he's like slow to where he just gets fucking hugged after a kick or something, and
I need him to fucking play a long and robust NRL career, because every day he does that is a day further out from when I have to listen to him inevitably ending up in commentary.
Yeah. Yep.
So fucking true. Cowboys by plenty, I think.
By plenty, you think? I think the baseline of the Knights is enough that if the Cowboys, they can hang with them for the entire fucking game, and the Cowboys have been the team to fold. Happened against the Warriors. It's happened like.
Where do the Cowboys' points come from, Glennie?
Valentine Holmes, Scott Drinkwater, Tuolangi. I think there's enough there. I think they'll be good enough to beat the Knights.
No, Newcastle by a margin.
I reckon Knights are a huge fucking chance to win this game.
Yep.
Provided they're not left down in interchange by Ponga. And it's incredible to think, if you looked at the draw at the start of the season, Knights going up to fucking Townsville to play a game. Yeah. That we'd even be having a discussion like it was an impossibility.
Yeah, exactly. And it's it's not a dumb scheduling move.
No.
Anzac round, big TV viewership, send Callum Ponga back home. You can see what they've done it, but not how they worked out.
So you're saying it's basically like in theme with Anzac and war stuff, where it's like sending a young man home in a body bag. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, it's the Anzacs at Kokoda were famous for their resilience and not just doing the job once. And the good people of Townsville have already driven out Kalen Ponga once. And as he tries to invade again, they would again stand staunchly.
Right.
to defend their fucking homeland.
Right. The Dolphins take on the Gold Coast Titans. This one is happening at Suncorp Stadium. And the Dolphin side, Kenny Bromwich is out. JJ Collins is out. But they welcome back Felice Kafusi to the second row, Jared Wallace to the bench, and Ray Stone is moving to the bench from the front row, and Herman Sasa is he's moving from the bench to the front row. Titans side, okay, bit of a list here. Shop is out, Vuna is out, and Little Tino, Isaac Fasul-Malawi is out. So Jojo Fafita comes into the wing. Glenn's mate, Thomas McHaley, comes onto the bench. And Cleese Haas to the bench. Philip Sami goes from wing to centre.
I'm glad to see McHaley getting a run at the Titans. Having said that, I fancy the Dolphins in this game. Yep. Kafusi coming back is big for them.
Nick Reamer and Katoa seem to be able to do the job.
Yeah, they seem adequate. On paper, I feel like Fafita and Tino alone, and then you put Mo in the mix as well. Isaac Liu, their forwards should lay a platform against the Dolphins, but I strongly think that the Dolphins are going to be the guys that control the ruck and the tempo through the middle. And then, with that established, Nikorima and Katoa don't have to be outstanding. They just have to be serviceable. And,
Yep.
And I mean, how the Dolphins for the first time in weeks? I mean, they're going to be running with, because remember it was the void that Kafusi's suspension created, that where Tom Gilbert became the fucking animal in the. I mean, so then you got dueling animals now with Kafusi back.
Yeah.
I strongly think Wayne would be in Gilbert's ear and go, your foot doesn't come off the pedal just because he's back. You've stepped up and you've done the job and you filled the void. But let's keep it going. And he's the type of guy that would respond to that. And I think the Dolphins win.
Yep. The Titans are going with a bold strategy of playing three hookers as well, with Randall starting, Cruz Leamy in 14, and then Aaron Clark in 15.
Yeah, wow.
So it's probably only a matter of time before Leeming, just gets acclimatized or whatever and becomes the 9, and then maybe gets spelled. But he's the guy that starts it off.
Yep.
Look, I'm happy to go to the Dolphins on this one. I think the Dolphins should be favourites.
Yes.
And it doesn't make any sense when you look at the team list or anything, but it just, this side's fucking, as far as like ROI on, with the playing roster, I mean, they're fucking killing it.
Yes, they
more
are.
Than any club in the comp. Moving to Sunday afternoon, the West Tigers, Glennie, taking on the Seabs Eagles, Campbelltown. It's I don't know whose house it is, but it's never usually yours. So, the Tigers, though, some interesting. Obviously, they lost Naden, so he's gone. Dewey's gone for, they say, up to 16 months.
Oh,
is the quote, 12 to 16 months.
Yeah, they're saying fucking halfway through next year.
Yeah, third ACL on the same knee.
oh.
He's borderline, like, does he come back? I'd say he's probably has the constitution where yes he will, but fuck me.
Do they put the dead cunts in them yet?
I think you have to fly overseas to do that, and I would hope that he is.
Do you?
To do the cadaver, I don't know.
Nah, no. Our mate at Apple had that done.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And it was it was a cadaver's Achilles that they put in there.
So obviously something that's far more tensile strength than
it. They don't even use an ACL. They're like, your body is so fucked, or you keep doing so much dumb shit that we need to give you extra.
How'd he fuck his ACL walking from the fucking MacBooks to the fucking iPads?
No,
and back?
He was somersaulting.
Let me guess, he plays futsal or something.
He trained pretty hard. No, just in the gym. He's studying to be a physio.
Right.
And trains pretty fucking hard. A mate of Nanos did his ACL once and had an operation or rehabbed it and it was okay. Then, because he lives in Melbourne and he was young and single, started going to all these fucking warehouse parties where they'd just throw parties in abandoned factories.
Right.
And jumped off a fucking walkway, like down into a group of fucking people, and
found out that things weren't quite 100% after
that's
all.
it. So,
fuck.
Yes.
So yeah, well there you go. So they can do then you must be right. They can do the cadavers here. I mean, I'd be if 16 months is the outside period in the quote. Go to fucking Honduras and bomb it with fucking stem cells as well.
Yeah,
like, seriously. This is your career, and if it costs you like 50 grand,
Yep.
get a third party or a sponsor to help you cover the cost, or invest in
Yourself.
having more career, because I mean you're making it back, easily. Fuck, but
Yeah, man, that's rough, hey.
So then that's only the second one. So Simpkin's gone as well, and Blorey's gone. You're gonna have to tell me something. So Brandon Wakeham comes into the halves. They tried it; it failed miserably. Although he was the catalyst there for that game where they came back late against the Doggies, I think, when he did come on. Dane Laurie is on the bench.
Is not on the bench.
Tommy TWiL is on the bench.
Did you say Dane Laurie is on the bench or is not on the bench?
He's on the bench.
Okay.
He's in jersey number 14. Tommy TWiL on the bench. And then you've got Jareem Buller, the fullback. Glennie, tell me about this child.
Big raps on him, apparently.
About
Big
14, maybe turning 15.
What?
He's like 18 though. He's young as fuck,
he's young.
right? Yeah. Making his debut.
He's young.
What's his story? Do you know much about him? Have you watched him?
Only that the club, see him as the future in the fullback position.
How long have they seen him as the future in the fullback position?
So they spent all that money on Charlie Staines, even though they were looking at Buller. Is that what you're saying?
but Sheensy said just recently, and it's interesting that he's given him a start this week, because he said, obviously the fullback position is going to be fought out between Staines and Laurie, but we have this young kid. Everyone knows we've got this young kid coming up through the grades, and we need to, bring, the plan is to bring him through long term. 2 weeks later, he's in the starting side in the NRL. So it's a sign of the desperation that the Tigers are in to continue the revolution process of the game of rugby league that they're undertaking.
Is that because you reckon other clubs were sniffing around?
Oh, I don't know. Why does Tim Sheens do half the shit he does? What, am I supposed to sit here and explain it?
Dementia.
Yeah, I'd agree. Dane Laurie on the bench, I suspect. There's, Gus coming out.
What do you make of the fact that you got two outside backs on the bench?
Oh, okay. Corey
Patterson
Patterson played on the wing.
Yeah, they're giving Tommy TWiL a run because he's got the shits and he was going to go to Manly.
Yeah. Corey Patterson played on the wing. Todd Payton was my favourite. Coaching the juniors at the Tigers when Sheens was the head coach. Lo and behold, Jake Granville playing for Todd Payton is playing in the front row and fullback and God knows what else. Like this, he's got a lot to answer for, Mr. Sheens. Laurie on the bench is back up for Wakeham if he goes shithouse. They'll slip Laurie into 6.
Dane Laurie into 6.
Or the youngster. Yeah,
did you hear? That
was Sheensy that said that, wasn't it?
No, Gus. That was Gus.
Oh, it was Gus. Gus sees Laurie's best position at 5'8". I think he's just fucking with the Tigers at this point.
So, look, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, so anyway, the Manly side, the Ray Vega, he's suspended for 2 weeks after his fucking tremendous legal hit on Munster. Johns is out, Tuolungi is out with HIA, and KO Weeks is out. Returning, Ruben Garrick, Josh Schuster, Sean Kepi, and the debut of Samuela Fainu, which is one of the debuts that we've all been waiting to see, those who follow the club. He's 4 Fainu brothers, 1 stabs cunts. One was shit and got sent to the Tigers and hasn't played. I don't think he's played first grade for you yet either, has he?
No.
That was last year. Then we were supporting through the legal case with Manassi because Samuela and his brother Latu are the good two. and so now we take our first step with Samuela making his debut and our first step in hopefully our loyalty to the family for the purpose of the 2 good ones has been paid off, hopefully. Bullimore goes from the bench to second row. Interesting. There's a couple of interesting positional things here. It's great to see Samuel get his debut. Lachlan Croker is the only fucking hooker, and I say that very very liberal definition of the word in the side for the first time in I don't fucking know how long. He's a tackling machine, not quite the level of Jakey, but he's a strong defender. He doesn't offer a lot in attack. He really needs that spell. I mean, like last week's game against the Storm, that was actually the winning move. When he had his spell, and then when Siebes brought him back on, that was the winning of the game, because you could see that like Weeks wasn't giving the decent service and everything, and he came on and they immediately scored the try to ice the game, plus defend their way to the finish line. I wonder this week if, as we see in 21, we see Gordon Chan Kum Tong on the bench. I wonder if this is the week that they slip him in when they make the team cuts on Saturday, and he maybe makes his debut.
Yeah, okay.
Because I can't see, because there's nobody in the 22 except for KO Weeks who has been dropped out of the 17 who can deputise at hooker. So I just don't think they're going into the game that way. But we'll see. Danger game. For the purpose of trolling, like it's a danger to my life.
You're an imbecile.
if the West Tigers win this game, because I mean it would be one of the great tempting fucking toaster bath bomb games in recent history. Game companion on this one, Glennie won't be there unfortunately, so I'll pull another Tiger in. We'll see you. We'll throw the net out and see who I catch. And regrettably, because I mean
be hard.
It's the first time we've had a potential game companion where, like, our teams have been like, a combination of two of our three teams are playing in the time slot where we usually do it. So,
that's it.
Unfortunately, you'll be, on a nice beachside vacation.
I will.
We're happy
I'll be
to
watching.
die you in,
I'm
mate.
sure.
Yeah,
go fuck yourselves.
We die you mid-stroke, mate.
Nathan's already fucking spoiled my anniversary today. And I'm not going to have him...
By wishing you happy anniversary.
I'm not going to have him spoil my anniversary weekend by continuing the behaviour that he's displayed over 14 solid years.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, as a casual and neutral observer to this, stepdad, I can just see you disgusted by the treatment I'm receiving right now.
He doesn't even know the fucking half of our fucking story, Nathan. Doesn't even know the half of it.
The half I know is that Nathan just seems to be offering some heartfelt congratulations.
Yep, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah,
that's what he wants you to believe, mate. So congratulations. You're one of the Pied Piper of fuckheads. But then you're one of his followers. Congratulations.
I didn't tell you this one, stepdad. Last week when I put up the West Tigers versus North Sydney Buyers game thread, he screenshot that and sent it to me with his usual greeting, all caps, cunt. And so I sent him back some emojis with like love heart eyes.
Yeah.
And then he replies and says, "You have deep psychological issues." To which I replied, "It's called love, mate. Stop being closed off to the male platonic bond."
Why would you call love a psychological issue?
Yeah, he's from Airds. He's old school. Men can't say, I love you to each other and mean it like I say to him.
I've told you that I love you many, many times, Nathan. Many times in my life.
Yeah, but I think you probably.
Not as many times as I've told you I hope you die.
I think the scoreboard's heavily in favour of the word cunt over the last couple of years, and the scoreboard will be heavily in favour of the Sieves Eagles as well. For the conclusion of this one, see how I brought that around?
Lovely, well done.
Oh, Todd Smith's referee. Is that fucking Ranger?
I've no idea. Doesn't matter.
The Ranger that loses control of games and just gets, he's like Corey Horsburgh in a fucking AMI shirt.
How did we end up in the fucking worst refereeing era in the history of fucking sport?
Because no one wants to be a referee. And why would you?
Yeah.
The type of people that actually put their hands up to be referees? You know how they're wired?
Like traffic wardens, parking wardens.
No, like Jay. Fucking sociopaths.
What happened to fucking Grant Atkins? He was on the fucking path to becoming...
He's still there, right?
He's all right.
But I never see him reffing games.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one that pulled back the Bradman Best try about 5 minutes after they'd awarded it. When they said he knocked it on, he bobbled it into the hand of the Manly guy that was tackling him. And they pulled it back. They pulled it back when the ball was on the fucking tee. For the conversion.
Who did he piss off though? Because now the only ones I tend to see Todd Smith, the fucking vampire, and that weird fucking cube chest guy. What's his name?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't understand that reference. I'll have to Google images.
The one that looks like he's had a fucking like cybernetic chest put on there, but it's from a 1983 Toyota Corolla.
Let me report back to you.
He's built like SpongeBob SquarePants.
Let me report back to you on Monday on this. I'm going to be watching. I'm just going to be watching supercuts of all weekend. I'm just going to be focusing on the referees and then watch the KO mini.
There we are.
Okay, right. What did you do then? Did you just Google like the referee looks like SpongeBob?
No, that's the whole referee thing. They've got all of them together.
SpongeBob Square Whistle.
Yeah, Manly heavy favourites. Not as heavy as the Sharks are over the Dolphins, but maybe second or third for the week.
That does make Manly like you should take a good long hard fucking look at yourself. If you are playing the Tigers and you are not the shortest favourite in the competition.
Yeah, but someone's playing the Bulldogs. It is a 17 competition. 17 team competition every week. Except for one, someone's got to play the Bulldogs. So.
Yeah, but, and again, all personal biases aside, the Bulldogs, while a shambles, are nowhere near as bad as the West Tigers, especially with no fucking Dewey, with no fucking Naden. That is a fucking die.
Let me propose a metaphor for you. Imagine, imagine there's two houses, and they're exactly it's the same. It's exactly the same house. Someone comes along and buys that house for $2 million.
Yeah,
absolute shithole, fucking wrecked. Another person comes along and buys the same said house for $6 million. The houses are fucking both shitholes with equal amount of pestilence and damage and whatever. But I think the person who's paid $6 million for that shithole is worse than the person who paid a lesser amount of money for that shithole.
The
Bulldogs are a $6 million shithole.
Yeah, they've spent $6 million in 2 years. The Tigers have been doing this shit for a decade. So they've played the long game.
Glennie, I can't. You're not.
Again,
you're so institutionalized. You won't even defend your own club.
No, you can't defend the indefensible. What do you want me to do?
Jesus Christ, Glennie.
Anzac Day, Tuesday.
Tigers 13+.
You just had to spoil it for yourself, didn't you? Anzac Day. We got a couple of clashes, and first of which is the Roosters taking on the Dragons in the traditional ceremonial game, whatever. This one's happening at Allianz Stadium, and the changes, some big ones here for the Roosters in dropping Sam Walker.
Is that deserved, do you reckon?
Look,
I think it's harsh.
I think it's harsh too. The Roosters, before they lost the last...
Or are there injury concerns that they're resting in for?
No, dropped.
Apparently himself and Kiri play too much similar style of play, and Kiri's obviously the better one.
Yeah, okay.
So they're going to try Joey Manu at 6. Nat Butcher's out, White's out, Momirovski comes into centre, Crichton to second row, Tupanua to the bench, and centre to 5'8" for Joey Manu, and Kiri 5'8" to half back. Dragon side, Jaden Sewer's out, Ben Murdoch-Masila, Glennie's mate comes in to second row. That's it.
Yep.
My mate. I don't hate Joey Manu at 6. Let's be honest, they're playing the Dragons, it doesn't matter. I think the Roosters win convincingly.
Was he playing 6 in that game against the Dragons with the Roosters when he faked the hammy and then
I think so. I think so. Yeah,
because that was in the period where Kiri was out for long term, I think. But that's just like that. This is my all-time classic bit of shithousery. I'd love to see that again. I would love it. Look, I don't think the Roosters should be as heavy favourites as they are in this game.
Reputation.
I don't. At the same time, I'm not saying I don't think the Dragons have a super realistic chance of winning this game either. But they've showed flashes when they haven't been according to their fan base anyway. Trying to get Hook sacked immediately.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do I expect the Roosters to win? Yeah. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, of course I do. I mean, you look at it even with the outs and the fluctuations in the fortunes of their forward pack over the last couple of years, and the dilution of their forward pack. I mean, you look at them on paper though, and they're still
Yeah,
Far better side.
that's all that needs
Yeah,
to be said.
100%.
And, so Roosters by how many, Glennie?
24 points.
24 points.
Okay.
Final Anzac Day game. The Melbourne Storm take on the Warriors. This one's happening down at the Korean Housewife in Melbourne. The Melbourne Storm side. Jonah Pezzett is out. Tui Kamakamika is out. Meaney comes back to fullback. Big Nelson comes back into the side in the front row. And Meaney's return shifts Munster from fullback to 5'8". The Warriors side. Nukore is in. And Josh Curran goes second row to bench. Making way for Nukore, who will be starting in the second row.
I'll tell you, this may be, and let me just verify that I'm right here. How many of these has Sean Johnson played in?
Absolutely no fucking idea, and I don't even know how I could even quickly find that statistic.
Reckon it's his first win? Is that that's what you're getting at?
Well, I was going to suggest that it may be the first time that after this round we don't sit here and just debate that forevermore it just should be called AAC round.
I think that was the title of an episode once, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was. This is their best chance to get over the Storm, I think, in a long, 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 long time.
Yep.
And similar to the South game, I think if the Warriors can get out to an early lead, and they've got that in them this season.
It could be. Well, you could basically the script could follow the script of Gallipoli, whereas like the Kiwis raced out to a lead and gained a huge advantage, and then basically they just sat on the advantage too long, and the reinforcements never arrived, and then the Storm come over the top of them at the end.
I thought you were going to make some joke about Mel Gibson delivering a letter to them and then going on a fucking sugar tits rant. But...
Wow.
There's a lot to unpack in that one.
Isn't that
Mills had a colourful life. He's had a colourful life. Let's be real.
Like he called Hitler sugar tits and stopped World War II.
Yeah, look, the Storm are extremely heavy favourites in this game, and I do not fucking... I mean, well, I understand why, because punters are dickheads and degenerates, but like you said, stepdad, the Melbourne Storm and the way the Warriors, the way that they're built this year, with the ability to hang in games for the full 80 minutes, with fitness and newly added defence to their repertoire, I think that they can score points, no problem. I mean, the Storm's defence is great. And look, the Storm welcoming back Big Nelson, it's a big thing. I mean, that is a big in for them.
Yeah.
But it's not... Like
You look at their forward pack through to their bench.
Yeah.
So, other than the front row, including the hooker...
Yep.
The entire back row, all the way through to... I'm willing to give somewhat of a pass to Tariq Sims, but he's most certainly on the tail end of his...
Yeah, I mean, Tariq Sims is not the same guy he was a couple of years ago.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a mountain of plod there. It's plod central.
Yeah, but remember that that was the whole thing with Craig. I mean, he could just give these plods a couple of simple instructions and a job to do.
Yeah.
You've got Tohu Harris on an edge.
Revenge game too.
Exactly. Nukore in there as well. Fanua Blake and Jazz Tavanga, I think they... Yeah, I don't think they get completely swamped by Welsh and Nelson.
No, not at all.
The thing about
So
Welsh
when that prop rotation comes...
Is Nelson back confirmed this week?
Yeah, he is. And look, the thing is, Welsh is like a smart guy. I like his takes on a lot of things around the sport, and I think that he's a great voice to have for the players. But he's not like this bend the line, battering ram kind of guy.
Yeah, no.
And having said that, when their prop rotation comes off, you've got Eisenhuth, Bronson Garlick, Alec McDonald.
I think the other thing with the Warriors this season is it used to be that you could beat them on your off games because they'd beat themselves.
Yeah.
You know, you'd knock on close to your own in goal, and it really wouldn't seem to be that stressful because you knew that the Warriors had 2-3 tackles in them before they'd knock it on themselves anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas this year, they're respecting the football a fuck of a lot more.
Even the media's starting to jump on the resilience tag for the Warriors. And deservedly so. I think it's a hallmark of what they've shown so far this season, and I think it's an extension of their coach. Well, I honestly think the Warriors can get the job done.
Yeah, I think so as well. And look, you know, it'll be a big upset, but I'm here for it.
Not as big as the Sunday 4 o'clock upset, let me tell you.
You know what, you getting upset, crying into your wife, and crying on your wife's shoulder while she fucking wonders how she lasted 20 years and why she even decided to do it in the first place.
Been married to an absolute fucking gem of a woman for 20 years, mate. I've got no reason to be upset.
You'll be given one on Sunday afternoon. As I light your fucking phone up.
Yeah, you bring it. You bring it the fuck on.
I'm going to blow your rhythm out. You're just going to hear your phone bing, bing. Right. So
Very disrupted 45 seconds.
Yeah. Well, maybe it prolongs things.
Maybe it distracts me just long enough.
At which point you'll see
for the first time in 20 years. I tell you what, Glennie. What a performance! Oh, was it due to Nathan? Oh, fucking course it was. Oh, my Nathan.
Maybe you did. That's what you need to do, Glenn. You need to put the phone in like a little cradle on the side so you can see the name where the text is coming from, right? And then
did you get a text from Nathan? What did he say?
You're getting. I mean, it works twofold because you're getting distracted, like you know, prolonging things, and she's seeing the name pop up, and and you'll get her there quicker as well. So like you might meet in the middle.
Imagine getting the Nate giggle. Imagine getting the Nate giggle in the middle of. Oh wow! Instant soft on.
What would you do though, Glennie?
Look, I'd try and get going if I'm honest.
If it was just on the vinegar strokes. Like just on the vinegar strokes. Because as we all know, if you look into
it's a step up from jerking off to Nathan.
You can see into his soul. What if you hear his voice? Does he then own a piece of your soul?
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I reckon because we've spoken about it now. It's
a tough accident to explain to the police as to why your wife's unconscious.
Now no matter what happens, this has been implanted into his brain now, and this is what he's going to think about on his wedding anniversary.
Please.
Oh,
Tell you what,
I apologise.
The button mushroom.
Terrible behaviour.
The button mushroom is going to be like a fucking flint.
All right. Anyway, enough about your mushroom. Good people don't want to hear about your mushroom.
I don't know. Some of them do.
Oh, I tell you, I don't know if you got received this photo, stepdad, earlier in the week, but a good mate of ours, Michael from Strive, he's moving up here.
Ain't no good mate of mine.
And he sent me a picture the other night, a photograph the other night, and where is it? I've been in Brisbane one night and I stumble upon a fur meet, and he sends me a photo of like a gathering of like furries in a public space in Brisbane City, and I'm like, where the fuck? And he said South Bank. He said there's a heap of them. Their pungent odour gave them away before I saw them. Yeah, I said, what odour was that? You know, like cum dried on plushies. And he said, no, gym locker room stench, sweat, and a lack of DO.
Yep.
Yep. He also said
that's it.
He also said they were such a pack of nerds, and he's expecting to see some goth baddies among them, but it was legit Magic the Gathering types. So I just thought I'd do a bit of callback to the old Muppet Babies era, but where he may have seen you there several years ago.
That's it.
caught in the way with the best of them.
Was there one of them that stunk more like shame than BO?
I think you'd need like gas spectrometers and things to try and measure that. And on that note, that is episode 512. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you're still listening now,
Jesus.
Yeah. If you, thanks for listening, everyone. And if you're still listening, apologise wholeheartedly on behalf of everyone.
Sorry for trapping you in a proverbial car for an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of fitting, isn't it, on this wonderful occasion where Glennie is recording a podcast on the actual date of his wedding anniversary. Like the good man he is. thisweekinleague.com/links. You can go there, find links to all our social communities, Patreon, all that good shit. I've had a very busy week at work, but I will get the hoodies up probably over the weekend. And yeah, if you fellas afterwards, let me know if there's any particular colorways that you would like to try for yourselves or kids this year. And on that note, that's all we have time for. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next episode.
Later.
Go the Tigers.